Hi, so this video is going to run through the things that you need to do and install to prepare for the workshop. It's just going to be a really simple sort of run through of installing R and RStudio and a couple of packages, and that's all it's going to be. I'm not going to work through installing R for Linux, just for Mac and Windows. So the first thing you need to do is to go to cloud.r-project.org. Which is the website for the Comprehensive R Archive Network, or CRAN, where R and all the packages are hosted. If you're on Mac, you're going to want to go to this link, download R for Mac OS 10. Obviously, it's going to be OS 10 as well, OS 10 only. Anything lower than OS 10, and I think and 10.1 as well, you're going to have to use R171. I would not recommend it. I would recommend, upgrade. So 362 is the version that's current for OS 10 and for Windows, and it's really straightforward. You just need to open up that and save it, and that's all you need to do. I'm not going to save it because I don't run a Mac, so I'm not going to be able to install it, so there's no point. But then once you've got the PKG file, all you have to do is just find it in Finder wherever it goes, and double click it, and it'll run through. And the wizard, the installation wizard, I think is the exact same as the Windows one, so that's fine. Next, we're going to go through Windows, and for Windows it's similar. So if you open that up, it loads up a page with base, contrib, old contrib, and R tools. We don't need any of these three, we just need base. So we click on base, and it takes a second, and then it opens up this window that talks about downloading 362 for Windows. Now before this, you need to actually ascertain whether your computer is 32-bit or 64-bit. So in order to do that, you open up Explorer, however you do. You just go to your sort of files, and we're gonna go and right click on Windows 8 and up, this PC, and I think on Windows 7 it might be computer or this PC, I don't know, whatever, your computer. You're going to right click on that and say properties, and this is going to show you your system properties. And over here you're looking for the system type, and that says 64-bit. Mine's 64-bit. Yours might say 32-bit operating system, i386 or x386 or anything like that. Just look for what it says over here, 32-bit or 64-bit. Mine says 64-bit. I'm going to install 64-bit R. So then you click on this link, the download R362 for Windows, and once you go ahead with that and ask it to save the file, it's going to download it. It's going to take its own time. It's like 82.5 MB. So I'm not going to wait for that. I've got a file downloaded already, but that's for R344, and I'll just walk you through the installation for that. It's the same exact thing. Now the next thing to do is to install RStudio, to download RStudio. So for that you're gonna go to, you're just gonna go to rstudio.com. And once that shows up, we're just gonna go to download up here, right? Once you go there, it's going to take you to the main download page for RStudio, and over there you're going to look for the download link for free. Now once you click on free, it's going to detect your operating system, and it's going to give you a download link for whatever the appropriate version of RStudio is. For me it's Windows. For Windows 10, 8 and 7, everything is the same. And the latest version is 12.5033. 125033. For Mac, it's going to give you a DMG, which I think is similar in the sense that it is also a double-click sort of executable, and you can run it normally. If you need help with any of these things, especially with the Linux things, there are guides online as to how to install these things. It's really easy. There's nothing way too complicated about installing RStudio on anything, and even R on anything, so it should be perfectly fine. So as I'm on Windows, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on this, and it's gonna download the file over there. Again, I'm not going to download the file because I have a file already, and yeah, we're just going to assume that you've downloaded both of them, and we're going to run through installing these programs. So on Windows now, the first thing to do is to install R. So I'm just going to open up this and allow it to run, and it's going to ask me for user access control and all that stuff. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so decide on your language. Usually English is just go next, stick with all the defaults. Over here you're gonna have to keep the core files, but you can choose to let go of one of the versions. So if your computer is 32-bit only, I recommend you install 32-bit and 64-bit files both. But if your computer is 64-bit, you don't need the 32-bit files because that architecture is just unnecessary. So you're saving a little bit of space, you're saving a little bit of time, and you're also saving a little bit of memory and a bit of confusion when you run R later on. So the 32-bit files, I'm going to just deselect because my computer is 64-bit, and I'm just going to continue ahead with, okay, I don't want a customized startup. Usually defaults are perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead with next, and then I'm going to say, okay, this is going to create a start menu folder for R, and that's perfectly fine as well. If you don't want one, you can just say don't. And yeah, it's additional shortcuts and all those things. And then after this, the next step is going to start installing the thing. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to cancel it because I've already got R installed, so I don't want to install an older version of R on my computer. Your wizard is going to be the same exact process, the same exact buttons, the same exact next. Throughout the whole thing, just the version will be different, and that's it. So then you'll have R installed. The next thing to do is, so you can actually pull up R right now, and you can call it up like that. So if I type in RX64361, it's going to show up as RX64361, and if I click on that, bam, it opens up the R console, and I can start working in there and do things. But we want RStudio because RStudio is convenient and nice. So once you've downloaded the RStudio installer, you're gonna have to open it up, go through the same waiting process again, get distracted by a leaf outside. Oh, RStudio is running. Oops. Sorry. There we go. Right. Try again. Hello? Ah. Yeah. Okay. And there we go. So now we go next, install. And that's it. What this is currently doing is uninstalling my RStudio installation, which is fun. And then it's going to install again, which is also fun. So I'm just going to see you on the other side after this. So a couple of minutes later, RStudio is done installing, and so we just click finish, and that's it. So if you go into your start menu and you search for RStudio, it shows up, and we just go and allow it to change our computer, and it'll take a moment and load up. Okay, so once RStudio is loaded up, you're going to see a screen that looks something like this. It might be slightly different, whatever. The console is the important part. This is where most of your code will go in, and this is where you'll be typing in everything. Now over here, we're going to put in, we're going to type in install.packages, and then open parentheses. And then within those open parentheses, we're going to say C, and then another open parentheses, and then we're going to start listing our packages that we need. So the first thing we need to do is open quotes, single, double, doesn't matter, open quotes, all capitals, mass, MASS. Then outside of the quotes, comma, still inside the brackets that are next to C, okay? So outside of the quotes, comma, then the next thing that we're going to do is put in GG45. That's all small. And then outside of the quotes again, comma. And the next thing we're going to do is go tidyverse, TIDYVERSE, as in clean universe, tidyverse. And then a comma again. And then we're going to put in Pac-Man, as in the game Pac-Man. This is not going to be the game, but yeah. And then after that is done, compare your command to the way mine looks. I'm just going to press enter, and that's just going to do it. It's going to install all the packages one by one into the default library of your R installation. It's going to take its own time, and it should be done in a little bit. That's it. So now that that's done, you're basically ready to go. I have included in the zip file that this video's description is linking to, down in the box, and you'll also have gotten a link to the zip file via my GitHub in the email that is sent to you, or whatever communication is sent to you by the organizers. I have included a handout, which is a PDF, or an HTML as well. I recommend you go for the HTML because it's nice and interactive and nicer looking. In that, there'll be a quick sort of run through of our, all the way from the basics to like advanced sort of visualization and multivariate modeling. It's not extremely difficult, and you can give that a quick sort of read if you like, and that's completely up to you. But in the workshop, we're going to be using the tidyverse and Pac-Man, and that's it. So these other two packages, GG45 and mass, we might use them, but it's unlikely. Actually, yeah, we might actually use GG45 and mass as well. Yeah, so we're going to use everything. Yeah, it's anyway. So good luck all. I hope it works out for installing R, and it's not too much of an issue. If it is, then I will have included contact details as well, and you can get in touch with me whenever you like and ask me questions, barrage me with questions. If you have any kind of issues with anything, I'm happy to help. Thank you very much for having the patience to run through this and for signing up to the workshop. I'll see you in January.